What's up guys, Foisy here, and in today's episode of Fish Rescue, I just got done bringing home these 14 koi fish from a home in Attleboro, Massachusetts. The owners have plans to travel and they're going to be filling in the pond, so they're no longer going to be able to take care of the fish. So just like I normally do in all these videos, I'm going to show you guys each of the fish individually. And starting with this fish right here, he's by far the largest. He measures in at 18 inches long, and he has some really nice color to him, but I am noticing some signs of either some stress from bad water quality or maybe an infection you can see from the little red veins, and I'm not sure if it's part of his coloration or if it is part of an infection or something like that, but his top fin does have a bit of a red spot. However, his fins for the most part are in pretty good shape. I'm not seeing any fin rot or damage. So this guy is in overall okay shape. And moving on to the second fish, this guy is unfortunately in very, very bad shape. Like, probably the worst shape I've ever seen a koi in and still living. He has a very huge gash on the top of his body on each side of his fin, and it looks to be from something like a heron. It goes pretty deep into his body, and then there's some blackness on it too, which might indicate that it's dirty with some type of infection. His eyes are glazed over and he's just not looking good at all. So I'm going to give him the best treatment I can, but this wound looks pretty fresh. It doesn't look like he's had it a very long time, so I'm not positive that he will survive it. I really hope he does, but he is in pretty bad shape. This one does measure in at 10 inches. And moving on to the third fish, this one is one of my favorites here. He measures in at 13 inches, and he is a butterfly koi. He has some very nice color and nice fins to him, and he looks very healthy. His fins are a little tattered, but not huge, and you do see that with a lot of butterflies. Their fins are not usually in perfect shape, but this is one of the healthier looking ones in the bunch. And moving on to the fourth fish and the fifth one, I'm going to do these guys together. And these guys are both maybe around 10 inches, maybe a little under. The rest of the fish in this video are pretty much under 10 inches, so I'm going to stop measuring. But I really like this white and black guy. He really, he reminds me of like a cow with that coloring pattern and the way his or her body shape is somewhat bulky. And I'm going to guess it's a female because of that bulky body shape. And this batch of koi that I got here today is a pretty nice mix of butterfly and standard fin. And then I'm kind of just going to group all of the other 9 fish together here because they are all pretty small, most of them around 5 inches or under. And then there's one really tiny guy in here that's like an inch long, and I'm pretty sure he is a baby of some of the larger koi that used to be in that pond. But these guys have some really nice color to them. Most of them are butterflies and they're very, very shiny and metallic. And the owner of the pond told me he got all of these fish from Blackwater Creek maybe a couple of years ago, and he said he started off the season with 26 fish, and at the end of the season, this was picked up in the fall, there were only 14 left, so he definitely did have some predator preying on his fish, which is definitely evident with that one fish that was really injured. This batch right here looks healthy for the most part, but one of these guys has some really troubling looking white bubbles and lesions all over his body. So from here I'm going to go ahead and set up 2 quarantine tanks, one for the fish that are showing some pretty normal healthy signs and one for the 3 or so fish that look somewhat unhealthy and injured. And then after they go through their quarantine period, they will be brought into the pond. And that pretty much wraps up this video. If you guys found these koi rescues or fish rescues interesting at all, hit that like button down below. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe for lots of great koi and fish content. And as always guys, thank you for watching from Foisy.